Welcome to LibreOffice Base Exam Question of 2017, Part 3. With this, we're going to use the database that we'd used previously called Employees. And there it is. Open, so finish. Okay, so I've opened up the database. Now, previously we had we created a form for entering new people into the database called employees. We also created a table. In fact, we created the table first, obviously. And the employee table was a set of employees that we filled in. So let's have a look quick. There they are. Now, the next question asks us to produce a query or two queries, which do two different things. Just checking what they actually asked us to do. It asked us to do four different things, but yeah, strange. I don't like the question, but you can't tell that to an examiner in the middle of an exam. Okay, so let's start. Query. We're going to have a query here, and we're going to not use the SQL view. That's very technical. We're not going to use the query wizard. It makes things too hard. We're going to create a query in design view. That's the simplest way of doing it. Well, it's probably not the simplest, but it's the way that gives you the least pain. What table are we going to use? Well, the employee table. We only got one table. There you go. So we can close that. So there's the table that we've got, which is the one we created earlier. Now we're going to put some fields in this query, and you could have used this employee table asterisk star, I call it, which would put all the fields in one go. But I don't like doing that because inevitably you're only going to want to use different tables, different fields to do different things. So I'm going to add them. It doesn't take too long. Add them individually. Staff number, first name, second name, surname they call it there, sex, address, boom, boom, salary, and department. Okay. Now, if you, let's just click down here somewhere. So they're all visible at the moment. Visible, boom, boom, boom. If later on in the question it says show only the first name and surname, then we can simply click on the things we don't want to be visible. Okay, so in this case, we just see the first name, surname, address, salary, and department. So let's put it back because we don't know yet what the question wants. Okay, so that's the first part of it. It says show male employees only and salary above 3,500. So they want, this is in the criteria. What criteria do you want to show? Well, we're going to show males only. M. Very easy to think, oh, it's got to be equals M, but it isn't. You just write M for males. And then for the salary, you want it to be greater than, that's the symbol for greater than 3,500. So that's the first part. Is that right? Yep. Oh, there's another little bit here. Sorts the records in descending order of salary. So let's look for the sort and go to salary. Boom, not sorted. Descending, not ascending. Descending. Be careful for little tricks like that. And now it says it wants a new calculated field called new salary. Okay, now this is a little bit tricky. It wants to call it new salary. So we've got to have a new column here, and the name goes down here, not above. And this wants to be new salary. That's what it says. But then it talks about a bonus of £500 being added. So a bonus isn't added to a salary normally, not for a long period. New salaries. And this is going to be equal to salary plus 500. Okay, that's going to give us the new salary. This bit under here is called the alias, yeah? You remember that from last time, I hope. I don't like first underscore name, so I'm going to put it called first name. All one word. And staff number, I want to have it as staff ID. And perhaps, well, I think that'll do. Yeah. So the alias allows you to display the field name as something different. Okay, so table, we don't want a table. Functions, we don't want that. That looks okay. Is that only one for this question? Just give me 1 second. Take a screenshot and paste it as evidence here. So let's see. Well, first it wants that as evidence, but then you want to run it, and what do we get? There we go. We got the two people. They're both men. Because it only asks for men. Did it only ask for men? Displays male employees only here. Okay, so there we are. They're the two men, and their salaries over that, and their bonus is going to be 3,000. It's going to be 5,000. Right. Now let me just see. Now there's a little issue here. I do not know how we're going to create that as a currency field. It's a special character. I don't know what that means. Oh, crumbs, don't want any of that. Criteria, function, no. That's a challenge for me. I don't know how to display that as in pounds because it's not something that we've got in the actual table itself. That's interesting. Okay, but that's my attempt at it, and I feel it's a little unsatisfactory that I haven't displayed that as a whatever it was, a currency. Okay, now the next part. So let's save this as salary plus bonus. New salary, sorry. So let's say, do you want to save the changes? Yes. What do we want to call it? We don't want to call it query 1. So I just want to say salary. Plus bonus. A couple of things I'm not happy with there, but okay. Salary plus. Then the next part of the question says, this filters the records for female employees only. Take a screenshot and place it in the evidence. Okay, so we want another query. Boom. And I'm going to do it an interesting way. I'm going to see what if I put in here the field everybody, boom, so everything there. Now I also want to be able to choose the females, so let's go down to sex, and I want that not to be visible, and I want it to be, oops, don't want to be visible, and I want that to be, oh, it's not a function, criteria, female. Oh boy, I'm having an evening. All right, female. So let's see if that looks okay. Bop. Yep. You see this, the first one I had here, the asterisk said everything. So it displays staff number, first names, surname, sex, address. But I'm not displaying the females. Why then? Oh, that's it. So, yeah, that is the table, and that would be, if I clicked on this there, you'd see the sex again. Let me just run it again so you can see that. See, it comes up there again. So I don't want to see that. Now that's what don't I like about that? I cannot, with this employee tab everything, I cannot choose to put gender in there, for example. Okay, so if I run this now, you'll get the gender. Ooh, what happened there? Oh, it's not displayed. Right, so if I run that now, you see you get gender there because it's, but because I've chosen this tab that displays everything, I've got not so much control over it. Okay, so let's do this again, but this time not using this this thing here. I'm going to put staff number, and this one is going to be first name. And I don't want to put gender in there, do I? That's the first name. I'm going to use that as before. First name, and we want that to be there. We don't want female there. Okay, so first name. You see now I'm getting a little bit more control. Surname, yep. Sex, sex. As you know, these days we wouldn't write that. And of course, we wouldn't have just male, female. We'd have other genders, trans or something like that. All right, sex, yes, we done. Address, we'll include that. See, by putting things individually, it might take a little bit longer, but it also allows us to be a little bit more control over what we display. I could, for example, put PAY in there, and instead of staff number, I could put staff ID, so I could change it to what I wanted. Okay, that looks better, doesn't it? I think so. Let's run that and see what we get. There we go. Ooh, right, I haven't put in there the criterion of female. Whoops. Run it again. There you go. Looks a little bit better, looks a little bit more organized, and I suppose it's debatable. It's what you choose, isn't it? But not an exam paper. In exam paper, you put exactly what the examiner wants. You don't play around with that, do you? Okay, so that's it. Oh, we don't want to call it query 01. We want to call it female. What do they say to call it? Well, they don't call it anything, so I'm going to call it female. Whoops. Female employees. Oh gosh. Female employees. Yes. Okay. Now accounts is okay. Now I'm just going to knock this M off because my wife told me that I'd made a spelling mistake, and indeed I have. What have I done there for that one there? Oh my goodness. Well, okay. Let's go back. Oh no, because we're still in the female employees thing. So let's put the gender back to female. Run it again just to make sure it's okay. Yes. And I know I'll save it, but I know I've got to go back to that table and go into open it and look for those horrible mistakes. How did I do? A double C. Oh dear, what am I doing? A double C double O. I quite like it actually, but just make sure there's no more spelling mistakes in there. No. Okay. Save that. Close it. And now you see when I come to run the query, which was female employees, boom, looks okay. Marketing accounts, okay. And I'm going to run the other one now because that's where the other salary plus bonus. They're all okay. Good. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you've benefited from it. the next set of videos is going to be on the next set of exam papers. And as always, thank you to Simple Screen Recorder for doing a good job.